So the sub, which is a tower that we all know and love, and I'm pretty sure everyone uses the sub pretty regularly in BT6, well, it's getting some interesting changes in the latest update, and I thought we'd go over them. Actually, believe it or not, every single upgrade path of the sub is getting changed in one way or another. So let me start with the dart and the sub. First things first, the top pad, the Energizer sub, is getting a nerf. Now this is not a substantial nerf in my opinion. The cooldown reduction that it gives to water-based towers, so all other towers are unaffected, but that thing goes from 50 to 40%. I don't think this is particularly a huge nerf per se, but you might actually feel it on some towers, but I think it's still really strong, so I don't consider this a huge nerf. And then take a look at the mid pad, the preemptive strike, which is a tower that you might not have been hearing a lot of. So the preemptive strike's damage, the ability damage, goes from 10 to 20,000 damage. That is insane. And on top of that, not only they're buffing the damage of the missile itself, but the missile does a little bit of an AoE damage, right? So that thing is going up as well, going from 350 to 1,000. 1,000 damage is enough to one-shot a lot of balloons, especially in the late game, so very, very excited to buy that one. And then the bottom pad getting another change, getting +1 damage on the 4th tier, the AP darts to 45 actually. So this, you know, if you're doing the sub spam strategy, for example, sub commander plus a bunch of bottom pad subs, this is going to be extra nice on those rounds with a lot of 45 balloons. So that being said, let's try and do the axis of sub today. What that means basically is we're going to try and buy every single 5th tier sub in one game, and I think this is, well, it's super doable for sure because the subs are not exactly the most expensive tier 5 towers. But if we have some spare space in like this small water spot over here, instead of buying bottom pad subs, I'm actually going to go for the mid pads, believe it or not. Right, so let's get the intel. This one is going to be what? I mean, I placed it in such a good spot that it's covering this whole entire back part of the track, so maybe this becomes the Energizer I was thinking, because if the small balloons leak, they're gonna get inside of the I guess the radioactive radius of it. So yeah, let's make this guy, but let's actually go for the airburst darts because we're gonna need some damage for these early rounds. All right, so camo balloon, what do we do? Let's get the submergence support. Sure, this guy's gonna get upgraded anyways. Let's unsubmerge him now. So basically a 202 sub. Are we getting some villages and anything like that? You guys know what? Let's not. Let's actually try and keep this as simple as possible. So just buy the subs and see how much damage they do without any helping towers. Yeah, I think that's gonna be super fun. We never do that actually. We usually buff stuff with alchemists and villages and whatnot. Let's try it like this. This is gonna be a little bit of a different video for sure. So let's go for sub number 2 now, since we have some lead balloons. Brickle can pop them, but sure, we can get the heat tip darts just because the subs can do that as well if you wanted to. So yeah, some interesting changes coming from Ninja Q, especially trying to target the subs. I mean, what was the reason for this, I wonder? I mean, I guess the bottom path was always nice. One thing that might be bothering me a little bit is that these AP darts, I guess it's called armor piercing, right? And you would expect them to pop lead balloons, but they cannot pop lead balloons. So that's kind of a thing that I have. I mean, you guys should make them pop lead balloons. Basically, that's about it. Make them a little bit weaker if necessary, but just give them lead popping power, please. But yeah, other than that, it's a very interesting changes happening for sure. I'm curious to see how good the preemptive is going to be, although the preemptive is, you know, it's 20k damage, so I actually want to buy that among the first tier 5s if possible, because it's going to be wiping like huge chunks of the round. So when we get to free play, for example, I think one rocket is going to be wiping entire rounds pretty much. So keeping it like this for 39, we're gonna have Brickles level 3 if necessary, and we are probably gonna use it actually versus the mod, because why not? Let's also get our Dark Monkey as the spotter over here. We should get this guy to 002, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, let's just buy it and then get this guy to 002 as well for the extra range. Yeah, just a simple and clean early and mid game as you would expect from these subs, because that is what this specific tower is good at, and that's why a lot of you guys I'm sure use the sub. It's just such a consistent tower. It works well with an alchemist. You can place it on pretty much any map in BT6, or at least like the majority of the maps. This is the exact type of a tower that we're looking for. So do we want to get the first strike? I think the missiles do get upgraded if you go for the first strike. Actually, let's do this. Let's buy 1203. So I think the order of purchase is gonna go like this with the tier 5s. We get the bottom pad first. Let's actually buy the AP darts. This is gonna be the new ones with the extra damage to 45. Not gonna have any serious 45 balloons anytime soon, but they are a little bit stronger than the triple guns. It's like +1 damage, +1 pierce, I'm pretty sure. So let's buy this. Then we go for the sub commander because it buffs all of the other subs in range, and then we're going for the mid pad, which is the most exciting one for me out of this entire update. Yeah, there we go. So 54, buy the sub commander, buffing buffing all of these guys, you know, something that happens to the subs is that unless you spam a lot of subs, they are going to start falling off in free play. So this is where we're going to need the new preemptive strike to kind of bump up the damage. But once you bought the sub commander, it's not going to be close in the upcoming round. So let's actually go for the first strike in the preemptive, and I'm going to see you guys in a second then. Right on time with the money for the first strike, so let's buy this thing. Preemptive is 31, and we're going to have round 63. So in case you guys are wondering how that one is going to go, yeah, something like this. Let's actually use the preemptive on the second wave of ceramics. Go like this, evaporate everything. This is going to become so much stronger actually with the new preemptive. I think even the cooldown on the preemptive is a little bit shorter than the first strike, and once we add the Energizer, yeah, the numbers are going to go really crazy. Let's actually buy the plutonium reactor now for the, I think it's 50, yeah, for the 15% extra cooldown reduction on Brickle and the first strike as well. And just like that, right on time, 37k that we have, this thing is 31. So by buying our second tier 5 now, the preemptive strike, and this is the new one that I'm excited for. So we're obviously gonna one-shot the ZOMG, so I'm actually not gonna use it onto the ZOMG. I'm gonna use it on the next rounds. That is, if the sub-commander doesn't chill off in a second, because he is destroying everyone. Okay, we're gonna have some fortified BFBs on 82. Let's use it on that one then. Alright, the sub-commander is kind of owning these early 80s as expected. This is not gonna keep going forever, by the way. He's gonna start losing in, if I had to guess, maybe late 80s, maybe even earlier than that. So the earlier the better for us specifically. But we're also doing a lot of damage with the preemptive strike to all these Moab class balloons, because remember, it launches the Moab assassin ability, I think it was, or some sort of an equivalent to every single balloon that appears, every single Moab class balloon that is. So that's part of the other reason why we're just destroying these guys so fast, and it's not even close. So let's try it versus the ZOMGs. It gets on 85 because everything is evaporating. This thing is so good. Yeah, so 2 ZOMGs, let's dump it like this, and I think the guy at the back also got damaged. Yeah, there we go. He just popped instantly. Alright. So obviously the 20k damage that the preemptive has is going to go through, you know, everything is going to be one-shotting it. By the way, I think we have the money for the Energizer, so let's buy it now. There we go. We get the crazy cooldowns now. It's only 40, well, only. It's quote-unquote only. It's not only 40%, it's a lot. Let's use the ability swipe. I guess it did damage to the other ZOMGs because it's only 1,000 on the AoE damage, right? So that's why all of the other guys on the side didn't pop exactly. The ability is back, by the way, so let's just dump it. Watch the cooldown down bottom. It's super fast. We're gonna be getting, maybe on the longer runs, at least 2, if not 3 abilities per round. Let's, by the way, dump it. Oh, that was good. Okay, so a lot of these fortified mobs did disappear from the ability. And now this is probably my favorite feature of the preemptive strike. It is one-shotting DDTs, guys. You never have to worry about DDTs because of these preemptive strike missiles just getting launched on top of them. That is so good. Alright, so huge wave of BFBs. This is our, actually, is it our time? I mean, it might be. I'm gonna use the ability, see how many more. Oh, I was gonna say, let's see how many blue mobs disappear. All of them disappeared. That was really good. That was nice. Alright, and just like that, the ability is back again. We're gonna have ZOMGs and blue 45 mobs on this one. I'm just gonna dump the ability again, just swipe all these guys, do as much damage as possible, and just keep checking the damage count on this specific sub. So it's closer to 500k with the new damage buffs. Let me check the sub commander, 400. Okay, so these guys are pretty close. Let's wait a second, and then let's have some of these guys pop, and then bam, use the ability now. Oh, that timing might not have been the best, but let's check the pops now. 540, it's about 550k. All right. I mean, just the preemptive missiles that get launched onto these guys is just so good. They're popping the missiles. Let's go like this. Let's use an ability, so a lot of these guys getting wiped. This is gonna be especially useful in rounds like 96 and 98, where you use the big preemptive, but it also wipes, you know, these small balloons like the BFBs and the mobs coming out with those rounds. I think we're dealing with the small balloons. The Energizer is doing the job at the back, and yeah, we're gonna have our ability thanks to this cooldown reduction. So let's use it again. That's good. How much damage was that? I actually didn't check, so let's check on the next ability and see how much damage is the before and the after. It is getting the lead, by the way, over the sub commander. So sub commander is sitting at 474, and this thing is at 700k. Yeah, who would have thought? I mean, as long as you keep using the ability plus all these missiles versus the mob class balloons. So look at what this to 95. By the way, this tower, if you guys are not aware, this is an auto win versus round 95. Like, look at what it is. It's only small balloons that are getting left on the field, and you don't have to do anything. This sub commander is barely doing any damage. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we did like 10, 12k this round. That's nuts. Alright, so let's go like this. Let's get 2 abilities out in this round because this one has 45 mobs with BFBs, and then the ZOMGs are coming out. And we still have not used a single Brickle ability, which is good in my opinion because we're playing only using the subs. By the way, 850, 860k pops on the preemptive. This thing is racking up pops like crazy. So dump the ability. There we go. Up to 900k. Oh yeah, this thing is getting over the million mark like it's nothing. If we get one more ability running, that's gonna be great for a round like like this one. So, oh, do we want to use it? Yeah, sure. I'm going to use it just because we have the Energizer. So let's see the pops now. 950. And then dump an ability. Oh, that did not exactly. Wait. Where did the ability land exactly? Because I think it landed on like the first GMG, but the first GMG might have popped, and then it was only the residual damage on the second one, because I thought it was going to delete everything, but no. Yeah, never mind. That was kind of weird. We kind of might have missed it by a little bit. Okay, so let's check the pops now. So 9. Oh, this is going to be super cool. So let's do at 1,000,000, launch the missile. Oh my god, that was like 40,000 damage. Yep, one single rocket, 40k, and that's with the new buffs. That's really good. I'm not exactly sure how much the Pierce is, and are we holding 98? This is going to be an interesting test, because look at our defense. It's only the axis of sub and nothing else, and I really want to dump. Oh my god, this ability, when we dump it, how much damage is it gonna... That's nuts. That is nuts with the new AoE and the new... Well, I guess the single target would have wiped it anyways, but that new AoE that they gave it of 1,000 damage, man, 1.2 million. It's getting closer to 1.3. That is nuts how much damage that was. And yeah, just casually deleting 45 DDTs, guys. This, I know that we're doing the axis of sub and we're checking out like all of these paths, but I am super impressed by the preemptive, and I think this is my favorite one. That is so much damage. So much AoE that this thing does, but keep in mind we're still playing off of cooldown, so this might not be exactly... Oh, let's use Brickle's ability just to wipe these guys. Yeah, this indeed is making it through, so have to be careful with the timing, and then boom, just do one more preemptive strike, and then we're gonna check the pops at the end. So as soon as we're done, 1.3.5 million. That is nuts, with the 633 on the subcommander, and then the Energizer just cleaning up along with Brickle. So yeah, that's gonna be for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching this shorter video than usual, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.